Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be watching another bar rescue. Today we're going over to Zanzibar.
That's how I feel.
Zanzibar is a billiard hall owned by Ami Benari, located in Denver, Colorado. This owner is a cock and a half, I gotta say. His name is Ami Benari, and after completing his service in the Israeli army, he immigrated to Denver, Colorado, where he opened Zanzibar in 2009. Ami always wanted to be in the entertainment business, so in his mind, he thought the next best thing is to start a bar. I don't really understand the correlation there, but you know, he really wants to be a showman, so he does a lot of shows in the bar and ends up giving away a lot of free drinks too.
I always wanted to be in the entertainment business.
When Zanzibar first opened, though, they were making about $38,000 a month. But unfortunately, in 2011, he was in a bad car accident that was almost fatal. He thought he was going to die, which left him bedridden at home, and it kept him from supervising the staff. Basically, the inmates were running the asylum, and they scared off all the customers.
They didn't do right by me.
No, they did not. Although I kind of would have liked to have seen what it was like there, because it's pretty bad now. So if it was worse then, I'd kind of like to see it. But when Ami got back, he fired his old staff and desperately tried to get back his clientele by making his drinks the cheapest on the block. And then unfortunately for him making the drinks so cheap drew in a bunch of old dudes that just like cheap beer. So now it's scaring off the rest of the people that are there. Now the only clientele in the bar are scary old dudes.
This is the only bar I go to in Denver.
Yeah, see, creepy fuckers like that are the only people that go there now, because you can get a beer for like $2.
They start making our other customers feel uncomfortable.
I could see that. Ami has also tried a few other ways to get people into the bar, like free massages and very cheap sex.
Very cheap sex!
Who are we having sex with, Ami? Is it you? Because if it's you, I'm interested. Apparently, Ami is losing $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And later on, we find out why. He loses his fucking mind.
I don't think I'd be able to stay in business more than 6 months top.
Yeah, and you know what might help that? Is if every 4 seconds you weren't offering people free drinks. Or popping champagne bottles out on people, you know? Fucking idiot. It does come out, though, that apparently Ami is a bit of a dickhead as a boss. Some would say he puts the dick in dictator.
This is not a democracy.
Ami has put his life savings into the bar, though. That's almost $250,000. Jon pulls up to Zanzibar with Jenny Costa, and she's a Smirnoff master bartender. Not exactly sure what that means. It just sounds like she is someone that works at Smirnoff, and she knows how to make drinks, and she's just tagging along with this guy.
Well, Jenny, Denver, Colorado.
You could sound a little more happy to be there, Jon. Well, Jenny, look at this fucking shithole, huh? Want to go to Casa Bonita? Chef Duffy is along too, and Jon Taffer has his whole excuse that he makes them ride the bus to check the population on the bus and then check where they drop off and shit like that. And he finds out that there's like college kids in town, but I feel like the dude stinks or something, and Jon Taffer didn't want him in the car.
So I have Chef Duffy coming to help us, and I actually have him taking a bus.
But supposedly it was to determine the clientele for the marketing and shit like that.
Well, there's Zanzibar, guys. Pretty unexciting fun.
And then the gang sees Ami outside yelling free beer. I don't know if it's the same clip they use over and over again throughout this episode, or this motherfucker is always outside being like, free beer, free sex, just all the fucking time. But we see this so often in this episode. I was so over it. Every fucking 5 minutes he's out there shouting free beer, free sex.
Free beer! Free beer!
So there's Ami outside.
And then Jon got 2 recent college graduates to go do recon for the bar. It's Nick and Cameo. I don't know what kind of parents name their daughter Cameo. Already the gang sees a problem with the free pool and mentions that most bars have a drink minimum and charge by the hour. And then while the 2 are there trying to play pool as well, not even one waitress goes up to them to get their order or anything. No one goes over to the pool area.
They're making no effort to monetize these pool tables.
It's very odd. Even outside the bar, like in big letters, it spells out like free pool in here, free beer. It's just like some kind of free hangout. I don't know how Ami expects to make any money here. And then Nick goes up to the bar to try to order a drink and gets stuck next to this really old drunk dude who's fucking hilarious. This guy was amazing.
But you have to preserve the individuality like you are. Good job, the individual that we all have to be.
I have no fucking clue what that guy was talking about. No fucking clue.
What the hell was he saying?
And then a little bit later, Nick's girlfriend Cameo comes over, and then the old dude starts hitting on her.
Got lucky. I can't help myself. I got eye candy. Eyes are open. And she's a baker.
He sees her, and he gets extremely hard about it. And I think he's like, grrr, to her afterwards. So creepy. And then the waitress goes, I got a good idea. Let me give this guy another beer. Where's it at?
Did they give him another beer?
And then Ami thinks it's a great idea to start popping champagne for everybody for free.
Free champagne!
He's doing another bottle.
Aw, come on, Ami. Can we get one more bottle, please?
Here we go, another bottle of champagne coming out.
And he wonders why they're losing money. But Jon can tell that Ami likes to put on a show, like I brought up in the beginning, so he wants to figure out a way for him to be able to do this in the bar, but not give away half the bar's liquor in the process.
I gotta teach him how to create a great guest experience without giving a house away.
We do hear a little bit from Sarah, the manager, though, and she ends up telling Ami that he's giving away too much liquor, and Jon Taffer's impressed by that, but Ami doesn't really give a shit.
Are we making money?
No, you're giving everything away.
This part really grosses him out. Cameo ends up getting her fries from the chef, and he goes out there, he's still wearing his gloves, he's touching everybody, patting the old drunk dude, then goes back into the kitchen and starts seasoning the fries with the same gloves.
Still no glove change.
And to make it even worse, before he starts seasoning them too, he's like blowing his nose with the gloves and shit.
Oh my God.
That being said, Jon Taffer's had enough, so he's gonna go inside and start yelling at everybody.
Jon Taffer.
Welcome.
Jon immediately starts shouting about them over-serving people and points out the drunk guy as an example. The waitress is like, well, I gave him a little bit of water, and he's like, oh, cool, you gave him a little bit of water? Did you give him 47 beers before that? And I don't think it fucking matters.
I gave him water.
You gave him water. Did you also serve him beer?
Beforehand.
He did have one glass of water, though. It was like a shot glass, but, you know, it's still water.
But when we're irresponsible and we hurt people, I get angry.
Oh, fuck. You won't like him when he's angry.
Let's get this guy out of here, okay?
I'm not 100% sure here, but I'm pretty sure Ami says here that he lives for the creepy customers.
What I live from is repeat customers.
The subtitles did not say that, but it sounds like he's saying that, so I was a little confused there. And at this point, Ami is getting very angry with Jon with how he's speaking to the customers and the people in the bar, and he just starts fucking losing it, and I don't think he ever gets back fully until the end of the episode.
Yes,
Right?
but you made a mistake too. You cannot talk to the customers like this. If you're here to help me, you cannot talk to my customers like that.
Which this motherfucker goes on rants this whole episode about, you can't do this to my customers, you can't do that to my customers. You got no fucking customers. This place is empty. You got old drunk dudes that are coming to the bar paying $4 to get drunk as shit. You got nobody, dude. I don't know what customers you're so scared and embarrassed. Jon Taffer is in there yelling. I don't know what the fuck he's even on about.
My business. You will have to consult with me.
But Jon ignores all that and heads straight into the kitchen and start yelling at the chef. And he brings up him cross-contaminating the kitchen and just tells him that, like, all the food's fucked now. You ruined this kitchen. We gotta throw everything away. Which does not make Ami any happier.
Till it's safe. I can't work here.
I don't know if Ami was like this beforehand, but since Jon Taffer started yelling in this bar, Ami hasn't stopped either. This motherfucker can go on and on and on.
Dave is not going home today. This kitchen is going to be spotless, that you literally can be able to eat from the floor.
Oh my god, and every time he's yelling, he's just fucking spitting and shit. Ugh, that's gross. But so then the chef is worried now he's gonna get fired because Ami did threaten that and tells him he has to stay here and he cannot leave until the kitchen's spotless. So he ends up staying there till like 3 or 4 in the morning. But he brings up in 2009, he had a brain aneurysm, lost his truck driving job, and that's actually why he's working here.
If I lose this job, man, I'll probably lose everything.
And I'll just say it now, he doesn't get fired and everything's fine, and we almost never bring any of this back up again, so... Isn't that fun? But the next day, Jon gets to the kitchen, touches a few things, and is happy about how clean it is.
Smells and looks a lot better, I gotta tell you.
You didn't say anything about it smelling bad, Jon. What the fuck? What did it smell like earlier? So then now Jon Taffer calls a staff meeting so that way he can see what's going on behind the scenes of the bar. And then first we hear from Sarah, the kind of sort of manager.
Calls me the manager, but I don't have any authority.
They argue here for a bit, and Ami brings up how people are better controlled than actually thinking for themselves, and Jon Taffer kind of outsmarts him and is like, you're a military guy, aren't you supposed to, like, build a good team and know everybody's strengths and all that? And Ami's like, fuck you, Jon Taffer. You know, they don't get along at all.
Don't you have to lead your soldiers and make them a unit?
Yes, but the unit is strong as the commander.
And then at the end of the meeting, Jon makes Sarah a real manager now, and we don't really get to see much of that until the end of the episode. But then he does show everybody clips of Ami outside yelling for free beer and free sex, and the girls are like, are we the ones that are supposed to be fucking people? Like, what's that about? And Jon Taffer gets actually offended for them too.
Very cheap sex!
You're looking at girls that you want to come in this business and you're saying free sex? Do you realize how up that is?
Ugh, and then his fucking response here is,
I'm desperate. I'm sorry, I'm desperate.
ugh.
I'm desperate.
And you look it.
Still think it's a good gimmick.
Yeah, I bet you do, you fucking dildo. And then Jon shows them their Beventel score and shares with them that they've been giving away $960.76 with their overpouring. And then on Saturday, it gets even worse. They were giving away $1,596.51 of alcohol.
$1,596.51.
And how do you think Ami took that? Do you think he took that nice and level-headed?
This is amazingly stupid!
Yeah, he starts going on a rant and on and on and on and on, and the girls are like, hold on, what about all the free liquor you've been giving away, huh?
How many free drinks did we pour for him that night?
Popping champagne and shit like that. That's all you, dog. And then he's like, well, it's my bar. I could do whatever the fuck I want.
My money. My business, my life.
He switches up so quick and then goes back to blaming them. He's just a big cock and a half.
Ami, I watched you give away 6 bottles of champagne last night.
And then John ends up telling him that he's not the smartest man in the room like he thinks he is, and he fucking loses it. He runs off to another room and just starts breaking plates.
That's how I feel. One more. I'm dying, not sleeping nights, fighting with my wife, being short-tempered with my kids.
Whoa, chill, dildo. Not one person here is responsible for you being short-tempered with your kids. That's fucking crazy you blame them for that. Oh, you guys make me so mad that when I go home, I actually beat my kids because of you. Sometimes I don't even give them dinner because of how you guys act at work. Think about that. So fucking ridiculous. But after his temper tantrum, Sarah brings up how she actually brought up the amount of alcohol that they gave away to him about a month ago.
This could have been fixed.
And so then now John brings in his experts, Jenny and Chef Duffy, to meet the staff and Ami. Jenny trains the staff in pouring a little bit before the stress test, and then Chef Duffy helps out Dave in the kitchen. And then we do learn here that Dave had no prior cooking experience before working at this bar, which makes a lot of sense. Stress test time, baby.
Girls are really sucking right now, and nobody remembers their pour.
So the girls aren't doing great, and then Ami wanders into the kitchen and adds extra oil to the burgers because he wants them to be more fatty, fucking destroying the rest of the burgers, almost causing a fire in the kitchen.
And for some odd reason, I don't know why Ami wanted to put oil in it tonight.
And then Chef Duffy has to explain to them why that's a horrible idea and why it could have caused a fire. Then they have to 86 the burgers.
86 burgers?
And then it's even more of a complete mess. Once they make the food, Dave has to bring it out in parts, leaving like the fries behind, bringing out the burgers. No one even knows where shit's going, while the rest is waiting in the kitchen. No one wants the food. He's out there like, Jay. No one's taking the food. It's just a shit show.
Jay! I have no idea where the food's going.
And then not only that, they have a ton of people trying to get drinks, and they have no new glasses.
There's no glassware. I have to jump in and make drinks, but there's no glassware.
And what do you think Ami's doing to help out?
Ami is doing magic tricks for us to help out.
I bet that's not what you guess.
The moment they ran out of glasses, they should have told me I ran out of glasses. I did not know.
And then once Ami gets word that there is no glasses, he runs around like a fucking lunatic picking up glasses. Then he runs back there to wash them, screaming at people. Then him and Dave get in a whole argument.
You're the reason why the business is failing.
Because Ami's blaming the staff, and in reality, he's the problem.
This place is a disaster, and the owner is the biggest disaster of all.
And then John calls the bar a shit show in front of everybody and tells the whole crowd to come back in 3 days when they have a new bar and everybody is trained well enough.
John, humiliate me in front of my customers.
Again, nobody there even knows who you are. They're all here because Jon Taffer fucking called them into the bar. No one cares. These aren't your customers. And what did he even do to embarrass you? He does this to everybody. So now we have another staff meeting, and John tells Ami that he's the biggest disappointment of them all. And Ami's like, yeah, you too, bud.
My biggest disappointment lies with you.
You too.
And then John tells him that he's thinking with his ego and not another person in this room views the situation how he does.
It's all about his ego, Mr. Entertainer, Mr. Magician.
And then Ami tries to blame Chef Duffy for the kitchen failing tonight, even though he's the one that ruined the burgers, and then he calls him Mr. Fat Boy.
Who was in charge of the kitchen tonight?
He and you.
Mr. Fat Boy.
He keeps saying that too. He says that multiple fucking times.
You disrespectful son of a bitch!
Don't punch me!
And then I'm not even kidding, Jon Taffer starts fighting him, and it's amazing. He's like pushing him and shit. This is the most physical I've ever seen Jon Taffer.
Don't punch me!
And then obviously that ends the night, and Jon Taffer goes home and says goodnight to everybody.
I don't know if we can rescue this bar.
So then the following morning,
Calling names? Pushing me? Who the you think he is?
Ami's still pissed.
I think Ami is a joke. He wants to be the owner. He needs to act like it.
So then John and the gang arrive back at Zanzibar, and they tell Ami he either has to apologize or they're gonna leave.
You either apologize or I leave.
And then Ami actually apologizes to Chef Duffy, but goes to Jon Taffer and says, I have nothing to say to you.
You have nothing to say.
But you better come up with something, because now you and Jon Taffer have to go sit in the corner, and you guys are gonna have a little chat.
Do I regret what happened? Of course. Do you regret what happened?
Yes.
And then after they half-ass apologize to each other, Ami ends up telling John about his car accident and says that he broke 3 vertebrae, and that while he was bedridden, he gave the younger staff control. And we learned about that in the beginning, how that wasn't a good idea. You know, they scared away people, and now he hasn't been able to fix his reputation. And then Ami was strangely surprised that when him and John sat down calmly, didn't yell at each other, they could have a nice conversation and actually get things done. And he learned that John actually cares about his business and isn't just here to antagonize him.
I will try to do better.
And then surprisingly, from here on out, he's actually actually pretty good. I would say he's not a dildo from this point on.
I will follow you through fire and water.
Meanwhile, Chef Duffy changed the menu and made it a lot more simple and faster to cook. Basically, they do like wings and corn dogs and like little food like that. That's very simple to make. And then Jenny does a whole bunch of billiard-themed drinks for everybody and teaches them how to do that.
Oh, that's tasty.
And then Sarah brings up this new system that she has that allows each waitress to do their own thing, help out the kitchen, and then someone actually go over to billiards and order drinks over there too. And Ami says that's a great idea, and that's a big moment for him. I don't think he's ever told anybody that was a great idea before. Literally, I don't think he's ever said a nice thing to one of his employees. So, you know, this is a big moment for him.
Very good idea.
Whoa. You agree with something I said?
And then it's remodel time now, baby. Jon tells Ami that he's going to be adding a new billiards counter to the bar and a new sound system and special effects lighting to the bar. And then now it's time for Jon to show the staff and Ami their brand new bar. And now the bar is called Salt and Stripes. It's like a billiards and American flag mixed together. I don't really like it at all. It looks pretty bad.
This is a billiard bar, and it's American themed.
Hey, but at least they like it. Everyone here seems pretty happy with the place. I think it's a little cheesy and I'm not really digging it, but you know, they like it. And then inside is very bright and colorful. Honestly, it's kind of a lot. There's a lot of different colors everywhere. I do like their billiard area.
Badass billiard!
And some of the other things he added in here, but overall, I don't really like the inside either. And then they actually do have this cool new tray when you go to get your pool table. You have a whole tray of your balls and holds your drinks too. It's really nice. I like that. But now it's time to see if they could run Salt and Stripes better than they did Zanzibar.
So I want to welcome you all to Salad and Stripes.
And then of course, now that, you know, things are upgraded and they're all trained well, things go great.
I think my work is done.
And then we got our 6 weeks later update, which this one's very small. After Jon left, sales went up almost 50%, and the pool hall has actually made almost $1,000 now. And then now it's time for the actual update on the show. Owner Ami changed the name of Salt and Stripes back to Zanzibar a little bit later. I guess there is an episode where Jon Taffer revisits the bar and he gets a little pissy with them changing the name.
Are you freaking kidding me?
They are still open to this day, and they've changed a few things on the menu, and they actually do have free pool still now.
Very cheap sex!
But other than that, they kept all of Jon's changes, and everything seems to be going well for them. Well, round of applause for everybody at Zanzibar, huh? I gotta be honest, Zanzibar is such a better name than Salt and Stripes. Zanzibar sticks out, stays in your memory. Salt and Stripes, I had to look back at my notes like 7 fucking times to see what it was called. That was a pretty fun episode, though. I really love seeing Jon Taffer get physical. I love seeing the guy fucking yell at Jon Taffer whenever anybody just sees him, just tries to antagonize him and yell at him the whole time. I eat that shit up. Alright, that's the end of this video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching me yap about bar rescue, and we'll see you guys next time. Also, if you didn't watch it yet, go watch my Mother's Day video, please. I worked hard on that.